So what is really wrong with the new Toyota Tacoma? Just a little background for you here. I recently bought a 2024 Toyota Tacoma, the redesign, the new Tacoma in the TRD Sport trim. Prior to that, I had a third generation TRD off-road 4x4. It was in the electric lime green color, which is kind of funny because when I first got that truck, I caught a lot of razzing about the color that I bought, right? But after I traded it in, all of a sudden, everybody loves electric lime green. I don't understand it. It's crazy. You guys are fickle. But anyway, there's been a lot of chatter, a lot of talk, a lot of negative talk about the 2024 Tacoma, the new Tacoma. People are nitpicking it, which I think is fine. You should do that with any product, right? I mean, we have to nitpick it to make it better, to let Toyota know that we're awake and that we're watching, right? But sometimes it really goes to the extreme and without anything to back it up. No validity, in other words. You know, really, there's only one thing wrong with the new Tacoma, and that is the price tag. It is not cheap. Toyota jacked up the price a bit, about $4,000, something like that, $2,000 to $4,000. It depends on the model you get and all that good stuff. But worse, and I think the reason for all of this disdain out there about the pricing is that a lot of dealerships are adding a market adjustment. They're increasing the price of the Tacoma just because really they can. I mean, they're in short supply, hard to find, so they're charging even more money. So we have that manufacturer's retail price increase, and then we also have the dealer adjustment added to it, which can mean the price for the new Tacoma, if you pay all that, could be anywhere from, I don't know, about $4,000 on up to $10,000 or more dollars higher in price, primarily because of the dealer adjustment. And I would strongly suggest that you don't buy from any dealer that is running that market adjustment thing, right? And if you are dealing with a dealer that does it, and I don't fault dealers for doing that. I mean, if there's someone willing to pay, that's free market, right? You charge what you can get, simple economics. But it is negotiable. You know, you don't have to go in there thinking that that number written at the bottom of that sticker is the price you're going to pay. I'm here to tell you that's not true. But it's always up to you. You're the one with the money. You can walk anytime that you want. So what are people saying? You know, it's interesting to me, a lot of the stuff that people are saying about this new truck. Number one, it's not going to last. The biggest thing other than price that I hear about the new Tacoma is that it's not going to last. It's never going to go as long as the third generation 6-cylinder naturally aspirated. That's because it is a 4-cylinder turbo. But we don't know that yet. You see, because there hasn't been a new Tacoma that's got like 80,000, 100,000, 400,000, who knows how many hundreds of thousands of miles or not. So we don't really know. People are theorizing based on other manufacturers and even just false chatter on the internet. And you know, keep in mind, a lot of the chatter that you hear out there is possibly coming from competitors. For you see, it's a perfect opportunity. They're seizing the moment. It's the perfect opportunity for them to kind of make people fear the Tacoma and steer sales towards themselves, those that aren't running a turbo like Nissan. I mean, it's brilliant if you think about it, right? You've got an opportunity, you know people are leery because it's a new product. So you start spreading all this false information. I mean, think how much a room full of people could spread in a day just by posting on forums and sending out comments and things. It's a lot of information, right? Now, I'm not saying any dealer or manufacturer is doing that. Wink, wink, nod, nod. But worse things have been done, right? So anyway, the turbo thing. People are afraid of the turbo. It's not going to last as long. I would ask, and I know there are some, how many people out there actually keep their trucks long enough for it to even be a concern, right? I think that even if there is a big turbo problem with the new Tacoma, you're going to get at least probably 80 to 100,000 miles out of it anyway. Do you keep your trucks that long? Again, I know there are some people that do. They'll buy their truck and they'll keep it for years and years. I'm not really talking about those folks. I want to know how many people actually plan on keeping it that long. Now, I know I'm in the minority, right? I trade out every year or two or so, at least I have, but I know there are others that don't. Next up is just the quality of the truck. You know, the big word out there is quality is going to be horrible because it's a brand new model. You're going to have all kinds of failures and things. And there have been reports of a couple of things. We've had a report of a shutter problem. In other words, those shutters in the grill or behind the grill sticking and not closing or not opening. But I've only heard of 1 or 2 people. That's pretty good for the number of trucks that have been sold so far, right? Of course, you know, we have the driveline failure, but interestingly enough, with that, Toyota does recommend a break-in period. Did they break in that truck before they took it out and it broke? I don't know. I'm not saying it's their fault. I wasn't there. I don't know what they were doing. Do I think the truck should have broken even if they didn't follow the recommended break-in period? No, I do not. But we don't really know. I wonder if that's been addressed. I really haven't heard that that's been addressed. Who knows? Next, we have paint quality. I'm getting questions on the channel about paint quality. Now, Toyota does have a bad reputation with paint. For some reason, I don't know what it is, they just can't seem to get it right. Paint that chips, paint that flakes, paint that's not painted, things like that. There have been a couple of instances. Somebody told me recently that their door sills weren't painted. They were just primered. I think that was a manufacturing and inspection problem. It shouldn't have happened nonetheless. I mean, if the inspectors are doing what they're supposed to be doing, well, then you're not gonna have paint that's not painted, right? I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Some of the other things, of course, are the hauling capacity, the towing capacity, the back seat. You know, the back seat is interesting because everybody's right on that. The back seat in the new Tacoma, it's pretty darn small. It's certainly no better than what it was in the 3rd gen, but it's no worse either. So anyway, I just wanted to get on. You know, I really believe the biggest problem with the new Tacoma is the money, is the pricing, because I think the truck is absolutely fantastic. It is leaps and bounds ahead of where the 3rd gen was. And I'll say this again, I don't dislike the 3rd gen. I think the 3rd gen is an awesome truck. It's just that the 4th gen is better. It's quicker. It has more acceleration. It's awesome looking, I think. And that, I realize, is a matter of perspective. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Another thing I'm hearing out there is it's just a mini Tundra. Hasn't the Tacoma always really been a mini Tundra? I'll bet the people that say that have also called the Tacoma the Tundra's little brother. Well, why are you saying that if the Tacoma really hasn't always been a smaller Tundra? Yeah, it shares some features with the Tundra for sure, but it really always has, and I don't really see that as a problem myself. If anything, I think that the new Tacoma with Tundra features looks better than the Tundra does. I think it's just better suited for a smaller truck. Anyway, just wanted to get on, talk about that a bit. Leave a comment, let me know. What do you think the #1 problem is with the new Tacoma? And I mean something real, not what you think or what somebody theorized. What is actually something physically or monetarily, we already know that is wrong with this new truck? I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.